Hey everyone, welcome to tonight's vlog. I just came to the end of the road. There's trees there that are over 8 feet tall. It got really tight and for some reason people just stopped driving down there, so it grew in. But there's a very nice turnaround right here. I'm imagining sometimes hunters will park here. They'll probably walk the road further. It's walkable. It's probably what this is mainly used for. People come down here to hunt. Turning around. This is a really nice road for a road that has a dead end. It's actually in really good shape. So right here, there's a large hump in the middle of the road. So if you have less clearance than like 8 inches, you're not going to want to come down here. There's also a bunch of trees in the middle that you're going to probably be able to hear rubbing against the skid plates up here. But this is only the last like 2,000 feet of the road. Yeah, you can hear all the little bushes and stuff rubbing against my skid plates. I saw a grouse bird run across the road. There's been a lot of them out today. Talked to some hunters earlier. They hunt grouse, but they're out of season at the moment. Deer and moose are on for right now. I'm honestly surprised that this road wasn't blocked off like right here at this beaver swamp, because there's a bridge here that could go wrong since it's an abandoned road. So right here we got a water crossing. The beavers caused the road to wash out right here, and they have dammed it. And then there's this bridge up here, which I'm sure has a big beaver dam underneath it. We're gonna get out for a moment and have ourselves a look. There's a hole right here, which is gonna lead to this bridge eventually eroding and becoming very dangerous. Gotta be careful. There's a hole I gotta go through. Okay, I'm completely on the bridge. These bridges are built strong, but the foundations can erode pretty quickly. And I don't think anyone else is going to drive down here. There's fresh tire tracks, but it hasn't rained in a bit, so it's hard to tell how fresh exactly. So I'll shut the truck off for a minute. And if someone comes, we'll just have to move out of the way. No big deal. Although I don't know where we're going to move. It's probably easier for whoever coming in here to back themselves back up, because there's a few areas there that I know I could turn around. Nice area. It looks recently flooded, but I don't see anything super fresh. I see some cut marks down there by the Beaver. If I zoom in on that, it's been a few months for those cuts. You can tell at one point this was even more flooded, but definitely elevated in the past couple of months. Are the beavers still here? We don't know. Did the trapper get them? See right here, these holes are going to get bigger and bigger. Got this abrupt hole right here, which is slowly eroding. I've seen worse. This bridge is not in bad shape. I've seen ones in much worse of shape that are actually still in use on the main roads by log trucks and stuff. So just looking around at it, I'm not seeing any chewed trees, and this is the time of year the beavers would be cutting down a lot of these trees, which are their favorite to eat the bark off of, which is their food source. They cut down tons of trees right before winter. They jab them in the mud at the bottom of their pond, so they never have to leave the pond. They only go into the water to grab stuff from their what we call pantry. Looking down at this beaver dam right here, that is very old stuff. I'd say some of that stuff that we got down there is 5 years at least since the beavers put it there. Some of the reinforcement there I can tell is pretty fresh. Some of the grass that it's reinforced with right there along with the mud hasn't even rotted yet. So yep, beavers were definitely here this year, but I think they were hunted off. I don't see anyone. And look to the other side of the bridge. These railings, both sides are loose. This one's, I couldn't push it over if I wanted. The other side feels like I would be able to. Got a little trickling stream. This is prime real estate for a beaver, especially since they're not logging it. The logging company doesn't care. They're not going to be the ones trapping and relocating. It's a dead-end road. But That being said, the beavers aren't here for some reason. Right here, it's rotted right through. But that's just the deck of this bridge. There's even mushrooms growing in it. You got these heavy duty pieces that are like railroad ties. Now, this is a temporary road. It doesn't look like they used pressure treated wood at all. Something's been chewing this away too. Maybe carpenter ants started that. Woodpecker may have torn it apart. This is not pressure treated, I can tell. They do that on temporary bridges. The main roads, they'll sometimes use pressure treated beams. The deck is almost always non-pressure treated because the trucks driving over it with tire chains, heavy equipment, destroys it. It would get destroyed way faster than it would ever rot when it's actually being used well. So yeah, we got a pretty big beaver dam there holding up water. Since the dam is so rotten, it would not be a hard one to get rid of. There's no reason to get rid of it on this dead-end road. I don't even know why the beaver's not here. Predator, or they got hunted. Here's another beaver dam because the beavers clogged the bridge, caused it to wash out, and they rebuilt the dam. But that dam right there, again, is probably 5 years old. There's some very rotten stuff in there. It's been fixed recently, but I don't see any sign of the beavers within the past couple of months. Those cuts I zoomed in on are a few months old. The way the bark was peeling off, just the shade, the color of the wood, it's not fresh. Alright, it's in the evening. Be dark in an hour. It's the time of day. Moose are on the roads. They like dusk. We're just driving around looking for moose and clogged culvert pipes at the same time. Nothing in a while because this time of year it's dry. Nothing really going on. Here it is. Here's the spot where you can turn around. But we're out on the roads. You don't pass people for hours at a time. There's a few houses on this road. Further up on it, where some of the loggers live. Some of the loggers who have made a whole career out of it have entire houses out here with solar fields, all kinds of off-grid stuff. It's really cool. Like actual houses with basement, they got everything. Some of the other loggers have campers in the middle of the woods, mobile homes, little tiny houses. This road, for being abandoned and having nothing really down there, it's a very smooth road. It's in very good shape for the most part. This is the only flooded out section. Boom, boom. Good thing I had some extra windshield fluid in the car. The other day I thought the windshield pumps were broken. They weren't working. Turns out it was just empty, and either the sensor is broken or the light on my dashboard is broken, because it's supposed to tell you when it's getting near empty. It's got a little light that turns on saying to add wiper fluid. That did not turn on this time, so something's broken. But at least it wasn't the pumps, so that being said, I don't really care. That was one coincidence. On my old car, the pumps just went bad. It was like every now and then it wouldn't work. Then it got to the point where it usually wasn't working. So those are pretty easy to replace. Sun's getting nice. Wonder if we'll see a hunter up here. There was a hunter I passed by on this road earlier with a dog. because this road is built a lot better. It's got gravel and stuff. The temporary roads that usually don't have gravel. Marker either said that just went by either said 6.0, which I'm assuming it is. It sounds about right. We're probably 6 miles from the next main road. It sounds about right. Probably 6.0. I don't know why it would say 60. Now here's another road that was recently logged. You can tell that was a bit fresher, the gravel. Good amount of them for this time of year. I think it's because of the good warm weather. The warm weather always drives the moose out after some cold weather, especially in the spring. That's when the moose seem to be most active. When they finally get some nice weather, things start blossoming, lots of tree buds they can eat. That's the time of year you get red moose poop from eating all the maple buds. And we had a couple weeks where it was kind of cold, starting to feel like winter, got some deep freezes up here. Then this week, feels like summer again. Nice and warm at night. During the day, it's above room temperature, unusual for late October. Next week, it'll be back where it's supposed to be. Daytime highs, not too much above freezing. Very below freezing at night. It'll be nice. Was a hunter up here somewhere towards the end of that 6 mile. You can tell by the trees this area is ready for winter. Then they can start winter logging operations, which are better and worse. There's bad things are working on the machinery, anything having to do it outside. It's very cold. The bright side is the heavy equipment and trucks don't sink into mud. Everything's frozen. They can log the swamps. They can send super overloaded trucks down the dirt roads without worrying about sinking into the mud. They don't really have to worry about the mud right now either because it's been dry. I've seen them this week. They're using the overloaded trucks because a lot of the companies here have special log trailers. They're road legal. But out on these roads, when they're transporting something extreme... Ooh, this is a pretty rotten bridge. I wonder where the hunter is. He must be walking the other way. I believe he was right here around this bridge. Could have went into the woods. I'll probably find him walking down here in a little bit, I'm assuming. But yeah, the log trucks, all they got to do is pull pins. They got some cranks. They become double wide. Pretty interesting trailers. Become double wide. And they also stack them over height. I was told they can weigh up to 200,000 pounds going down the road. These are all private roads, so they don't have to follow any of the DOT regulations. And then the sawmill is usually right at the end of the logging roads because this is vast wilderness. Millions of acres of tree farm. They plant them, cut them down, replant them. Most of the lumber trees, like white pine, in this area will be on their way to Quebec, where they have the sawmills. Quebec also does a lot of the pressure treating. Then they send some of that lumber back here to be sold. Most of the pulp wood mills are in Maine. They don't ship all that to Canada. Some of it, though. Wondering where this guy is. Wasn't too long ago that I was here. Maybe he's with one of those houses like I mentioned. We went by a couple of driveways. Nope, this is maybe the guy. I don't know. This could be someone else. I didn't see any vehicles parked here earlier. Thankfully, we're passing this guy on a section of road that's wide enough. Yeah, that was the guy, I think. I didn't see a truck earlier. He must have been parked in somewhere. Should be coming up any moment. I think we've gone about 6 miles. Close to it. And the road conditions are in good condition like this. Can really make good time. All the arteries up here are in good condition. You can keep your speed. Go like 50 miles an hour, 80 kilometers an hour pretty easily. That's the typical speed the log trucks are traveling at. No matter how bad the conditions are, a loaded log truck, they ride so smooth with all that weight. Like last night, there was a couple log trucks that I pulled over for. They were flying by, so if I was doing 50 on these roads, 80 kilometers, these guys, to catch up with me and pass me so fast, these log trucks, I wouldn't be surprised if on these roads they were doing like 70, around there, 115 kilometers an hour. These trucks were moving extremely fast. They're gone within seconds, out of sight. A couple of the empty trailers I witnessed even doing a little bit of drifting around the corners. But these roads are in very good shape. It hasn't rained basically all of October, so they've been able to fix all the potholes, do good grading. Areas like this are nice because they're wet. I have a feeling in certain areas where they're working, they're using tanker trucks to water them. Because then there's other areas that there's dust storms. Where I parked last night, there was a little bit of internet, a couple bars of signal, so I parked on a certain area where the road is very wide and it's like a real big shoulder. I just park there. The trucks go by you all night, and you wake up in the morning, the windows, you can't see out them. There's so much dust built up, but it doesn't matter. When I come out here, I know I got a pressure wash when I go home, whether it's mud, dust, but this truck's a lot better than my old car. My old car was not very airtight. This truck, dust only gets into it when you open the doors and slam the doors. A little bit will get in by doing that. My old car wasn't very airtight, and you could see that dust was finding ways in. You'd find a thick layer of it on the dashboard. Every single thing in the vehicle would have dust on it. Now here, I've been out on these dusty roads for days now. Touch the dashboard, I don't leave a mark. There's very little dust getting in. But the air filters will need to be changed at some point. I don't know if we'll come across another dusty area tonight. Dusty areas are where they've been recently grading it, because it being looser soil, it dries out faster. These areas that are wet, they either watered it, which I don't think is the case, because they're not working here. Why would they care? And I'm thinking it's just because the water table's just still so it's so high, the water table. But I hope today's video was interesting, everybody. Thanks for watching, and have a great night.